Go ahead and get these going and oh crap! Oh no! Oh my gosh! You guys love these tumbling tower blocks. So yeah, that's it. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm really excited you're here. If you're new, welcome, and if you're coming back, I love you guys so much. And we're going to get right into today's DIYs, which are using the tumbling tower blocks from Dollar Tree. That's what we're going to use today to make functional DIYs with these, and I can't wait to show you, so let's just do it right now. I am starting with 130 tumbling tower blocks. Now they come 72 in a pack, so you just need 2 packs to do this, and you'd have some extras. And what I'm going to do is start off building the lid of what I'm making, which is a Kleenex holder box. And now I'm going to put the Kleenex box on it. It's going to be one of the square ones, not the long rectangular one. So the top piece needs 20, and it's going to have 8 on each side, and then 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom, leaving that little rectangular opening for the Kleenex to come out. And I put all my wood glue in this larger wood glue container that I got off of Amazon. Have you guys checked out my Amazon store? I've got the link down in the description box below. And any of the tools that you see me using, or if I mention I got something at Amazon, I try to get it in the store. You can follow me at the store and it'll let you know when I put new things in there. But this is just there because I know a lot of people want to know where I got something, and this way you can find it. And yes, I make a little teeny bit of money on it, so it's really not about that. It's just so that you know where to get these tools, because if I really love them and use them, you might too. So check it out. Now I'm using an old paintbrush just to put the glue, on the sides of the blocks so that I can glue them together. Now I'm going to make one of the sides, and you're going to do 2 of each side, but this side has 27 pieces, so there'll be 2 sides with 27 pieces, and then the other side will have 24 pieces, so 2 sides with 24 also. I'm going to use that same glue, and I'm just going to saturate it with glue and then wipe it off with a wet cloth just to, get rid of the excess, but that way it really, really is firm. And look at them, they're holding together so nicely, and any excess glue, I'm just going to sand it right off. Now, I didn't use my sander because of the fact that they were blocks. I was a little nervous. Maybe I'll try it next time. So this time I just used the Dollar Tree sanding sponge and a nail file from the Dollar Tree to get the little parts that were hard. And I rounded all the edges too. And now I'm going to use some painter's tape to help me position it when I put the glue to assemble it. So on the side with the long side of the rectangular opening on top goes the larger 2 pieces, and I'm putting a ton of glue. They're going to be a little wider than the top piece, and that's so that the other 2 sides can fit nicely in between. You'll see when we get there. But I'm using the tape because I don't have any fancy clamps to hold this together. I haven't done enough woodworking to really have a lot of nice clamps. So this works actually if you use tape, as long as you can hold it while you're putting the tape on, and the tape is, not going to break, but I was really careful about it. So the tape worked fine, by the way. So just a little tip, if you need to do something like that, you can use tape. And now I'm just adding the other 2 sides, and you can see here this is the final side that I'm doing, and then I'm going to go ahead and tape everything, and I'm going to start taping it up higher too because I want it to be supported all the way around. After the first hour, the wood glue starts to set and you can keep working, but you don't want to do anything too crazy with it because it could still fall apart. But if you want to be safe, I'd wait 24 hours. That's the best way to do that. Now I'm just going to check, and yes, my tissue box fits in there perfectly, and the little opening is lined up. I'm going to take my Rust-Oleum linen white chalk paint. I'm just going to do 1 coat over the whole thing except the inside, but I will do the very bottom. And the reason I'm only doing 1 coat is I'm going to go and sand it like crazy. So I'm using a nail file to go around the edges, but then I did it off camera because I thought the camera was on, but it wasn't. And I really heavily sanded the sides, and you'll see in just a second just how much of the wood I wanted to have show through. And I love it. Do you see that? Is that just gorgeous? I love that look so much. So it makes it rustic. Now what I'm going to do is I've got this beautiful tissue paper that I got from chalkitupfancy.com. They also have a YouTube channel. I'll put their link down below. And I'm just going to take a little piece of this block tissue paper. I'm going to do 1 on each side. Now don't tell anyone, but the other side I accidentally did it upside down. But it's going to be on the back, so probably no one will see it. Maybe. Just don't tell anyone, okay? Because I felt kind of silly that I did that. Anyway, I'm using my polyacrylic instead of Mod Podge because I'm going to finish the whole thing in polyacrylic to give it a nice top top coat and seal it all in. And I'm using my brayer from Amazon to get off as many air bubbles or, make as best contact as I possibly can. And then the excess, I'm just taking a little utility blade. I'm just going to go right over it. And you see the tissue paper lifted a little. That's because I'm impatient and I didn't wait for it to dry. If you wait for it to dry, that will not happen to you. So now I get smart and I'm using my heat tool from Amazon to go ahead and dry it. I'm working on the other side. Now, if you're very clever, you will see that it's upside down right there. Anyway, I did put it on, and now I'm covering the rest of it in the polyacrylic. And then I added little felt circles at the very bottom so it wouldn't scratch anything up. And it turned out so beautiful, you guys. I love it. It's both functional and beautiful and less than $5. Hey again, if you're not subscribed, but if you want to, it's free. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and definitely please hit the like button because that helps YouTube know that more people should see my videos. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. For this tumbling tower block functional DIY, we're going to use 26 of the blocks, and what we're going to make is a phone holder, a cell phone holder, and my husband needs one, so this is for him, so it's not very frilly or anything, but I'm going to use that same wood glue as I did before, and I'm going to start assembling the pieces. Now the very bottom of it is going to have 3 rows of 2, and then I'm going to take 2 and put them together, and they will actually stand up at the end, and that's where the phone will kind of hit again so it doesn't fall over. And now I'm building the very back of it with the remaining blocks. So just, make an even 2 stacks, and then again, use the wood glue all over it. And, because I use the wood glue, everything takes a little bit longer, but it really is the best choice when you're using wood because it becomes part of the wood and then it's just so solid. And the tumbling tower blocks are not all the same, and that's just going to add to making this feel more rustic because it's almost impossible to get them all exactly the same. You'd be throwing out so many of them. So I let it go, tried to fill it in with glue, wipe it off, and just let it be. I just had to relax, get my wet cloth out, wipe it off, and then of course I sand all of that excess off. And I also like to round the corners of the edges of the actual pieces because it just gives it a softer look because those edges are kind of sharp and you can actually hurt yourself if you bump in against them, especially if your skin is a little bit on the thinner side. Now I'm going to assemble that base piece, and I'm going to put the little stopper piece on the end where the phone can't go any further forward, and you'll see in a second when I put the whole thing together. This one is so easy, you guys. So easy. You could make a couple of them out of a box of the tumbling tower blocks. I still can't say that right. Anyway. Hey, are you on social media? I am. I have an Instagram, a Facebook, a Pinterest, and a TikTok, and I'd love for you to come join me. I've got all the links down in my description box down below. Lots of sanding in fast motion because how fun would that be to just watch me sand? Anyway, I digress. So please check it out. Come follow me and see what I'm doing on there. Sometimes there's sneak peeks and sometimes it's just fun stuff that I don't put on my YouTube channel. Oh, and in case you were wondering, yeah, I'm adding more glue. I just felt like it just made it more solid. I don't know if you had to or not, but it just made me feel better. And like I said, I wiped it off or took the excess off with a wet towel. Now I am assembling the back piece onto the base, and you see now how that is shaped. And I think in a minute here, yep, there's my phone. And see, it doesn't go anywhere because the little stopper pulls it back. I'm going to take 2 colors of apple barrel paint, burnt umber and warm buff. I'm going to mix them together, and then I'm going to get my little mister bottle out, and I'm going to spray the little spongy thing I'm going to use to put that on the wood. Because I want this watered down, I'm going to turn it into a stain and see what happens there. It's not brown and it's not beige. It's a really nice combination, and I'm still going to wipe off the excess as soon as I'm done. I love the color that comes out. I asked my husband what wood he wanted, and this worked out perfectly to give him what he wanted. I've got a ton of stickers between Dollar Tree and Walmart. So I'm going to use the S. It's like a copper colored S. It's a really cool raised up sticker from Walmart. I'm just going to put it right on the back for our last name. And then I've got these rub-on transfer stickers from the Dollar Tree, and I've got the word hello. And then I've got another sticker with a question mark. So I thought it was cute. On the side that the phone is facing, it would say hello, like you're answering the phone. And on the back, it's got his initial on it. It's actually his first name and last name, so that worked out really nice. And these transfers come come off really easy when you kind of scratch on the back of something, releases the little transfer. Now the E, I touched it, and I can tell you more about the bandages in a little bit, but I could not hold it, so I accidentally touched the side of it, but I'm going to use a little black marker and fix that right at the end, and it's not even a problem. There we go, just a couple of dots here and there, and then I found another little spot in the O. I think it looks pretty good, actually. And now I'm going to take my polyacrylic again, and I'm going to put a top coat all over it. This is by Minwax. And first I'm going to dry that ink just in case, because I don't want to move it all over the place from where I touched it up. Just going to do a couple, I think I did 3 coats total all over it. And then I'm going to take my little felt circles and put 4 on the bottom in the corners so that it'll sit nicely. And you guys, that's it. It's so easy, really cute, and super functional. For this functional DIY, I'm going to take 16 of the tumbling power blocks total, and I'm basically going to make a picture frame with them. I'm using that piece of foam board, and what I'm going to do is put them on their side, the narrow side. And so the top and the bottom are going to be 3 each, and then the rest are going to be evenly divided on the sides. I'm going to use the wood glue, and I'm going to use a little bit of hot glue as well. And I'm using my square ruler to help me get right angles and straight lines. And I will tell you, it's not easy with these blocks because, like I mentioned before, they're not the same. And even if you think they're the same, when you get done, they end up not being the same. Have no idea why. It's kind of crazy. But I'm just kind of figuring out how many I'm going to need based on the little size I'm using of the foam board, and then I will glue them all together. You know who uses these blocks all the time and makes amazing things is Dee from She's So Crafty. I'll put her link down in the description box. That girl's amazing, and she is so inspiring to me. Now that I have my frame shaped out, I'm going to start working on what's going to go on the foam board on the inside. And I've got this really cute set of stickers. I think I got them, oh gosh, I want to say from Hobby Lobby. And then I also have some really nice scrap of paper from Hobby Lobby. And then I'm using a Jot glue stick from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to attach that piece of scrap of paper that I have already cut down to size right over the foam board. Once I have both sides adhered to the foam board, I'm going to take my stickers and I'm going to pull off that larger pitcher full of flowers, and I'm just deciding how I'm going to place it. I'm going to trim some of the little pieces that are behind the flowers because they don't look as good on that scrap of paper in my opinion. And then I cut out a little butterfly that I found on that paper as well. And I'm just going to place it right above the flowers. And I just thought that was kind of cute to add the butterfly. I didn't want to waste it. And I love it. It's just a very nice kind of spring looking picture. And we're not there yet, but it's nice to think about. Now I'm just going to sand down my pieces of block, and I'm going to put the whole thing together. I have all the sides, glued together, but not the entire frame. And I'm going to use a combination of wood glue and hot glue, and I'm going to use tape to hold it in place as if it were like a clamp of some kind. And it works very well to do that and hold it right there until I feel like it's dry enough for me to remove the tape. Now, if you're wondering why I have these sort of faux bandages on, and in the earlier DIYs I have real bandages, I was using some hot glue when I first started doing this one, and I placed it wrong, and I wanted to take it off, and I was trying to, kind of cut off the big lumps of hot glue, and I jabbed myself with an X-Acto knife twice, right on my thumb and right on my pointer finger, and of course it started bleeding, and I don't think I needed stitches. I think I was able to stop the bleeding, but I was determined to keep crafting and finish my project, so that's what happened. Now I'm taking the foam board and I'm attaching it to the back of the frame, and I'm just gonna, clean up any loose ends, and then I'm gonna take this really beautiful sisal rope that I got from burlapfabric.com, and I'm just gonna hot glue it right around the inside edges, and that kind of covers up any of the little mishap of what I was doing when I made a mistake earlier. Then I put that around, and you want to know something? I actually think it looks really good with that on there, so it was a happy accident. Oh, and I'm okay now. I'm not even wearing band-aids anymore, so it's already healing.
Now I'm just going to put some more of that sisal rope on the back and make a little hanger. And then I'm going to get some brown craft paper and I'm going to cut a shape that's pretty close to the size of this picture for the back. I'm going to hot glue it on and then trim around the edges. Then I'm going to pull the little hanger through a little slit that I'm going to make in the back, and then that's it, and this one will be done. It's actually pretty, but it's functional because it's a picture frame that I created. Let me know down in the comments, do you ever make functional crafts or DIYs, or do you only make decorative things? I'd love to know. I found the idea for this DIY on Pinterest, and it's so simple. You take literally one block, and I actually had one little brown one left, and then you use a keychain holder and a little, I think it's called an eye hook, and you can get those at any hardware store or Amazon. And I'm going to take the little block and I'm going to sand every single edge there is because I want to round them out a little bit and not make them very sharp. Then I'm going to clean up all the sawdust with my Ladybug vacuum from Amazon, and I do that with all the other ones. I don't always film it. And there's the block now that it's all sanded down. And then I'm going to open up this map of Ohio, which is where I live, and I'm going to find the area where I live, and I'm going to cut a piece of the map that is in that area. And then I'm going to cut a piece of the map that says Cincinnati proper, because I'm going to put that on the other side of the block. And then I'm going to cut an extra little edge to go on the sides of this block as well. And then I'm just going to take a little utility knife, and I'm going to use the block to actually score and cut them out. Now that I have the pieces cut out, I'm going to place them on my little block and see how they're going to fit. Then I'm going to take my little eye hook and I'm just going to push it into the center of one of the little short sides. And then I'm going to take that little hole I pushed in and I'm going to start twisting. And it really doesn't take much to get that thing in there, and then you just twist it all the way in. And then a little trick that I use, and you can consider this a hack maybe, is to take a staple remover and I'm going to clip right between the two rings on the key holder and hold it open so that I can place the little stick on with the eye hook. And that's how you get it on there. Then I'm going to use some Mod Podge. Just going to use the matte kind so it's not shiny, and I'm going to put some on, and then I'm going to take one of my little matte pieces and I'm going to go ahead and put it on, press it firmly, then cut off the excess and then glue that piece on. And I'm going to do the exact same thing with the other piece because it's really one piece is for two different sides. So then I cut it and place it again. Then I'm going to take a nail file from the Dollar Tree and I'm going to go around all the edges. I really want to get a nice clean edge and then just have the map kind of on the flat sides. When that is all done, I'm going to also sand around the top and the bottom. And then I'm going to get a Mod Podge out again and I'm going to put it over the entire thing, and that's it. It's the cutest little keychain, honestly. I can't believe how easy this was. There are so many possibilities with this. You don't have to use a map. You could use cute scrap of paper, whatever you like. And now for one last look at all 4 of my functional Dollar Tree tumbling tower block DIYs. I really hope you guys like them. You'll have to tell me which one is your favorite. And like I said, have you ever made any? Would you make them? Or what do you do with these tumbling tower blocks? I would love to know. A lot of fun to do, and I hope you enjoyed it. Also, let me know if you'd like a part 2 because I have enough ideas to make another video if you guys would like that. So definitely let me know that down in the comments.
Thank you so much for watching. That means a lot to me. And I do want you to know that you are truly a blessing to me. If you like this video, I've got a couple other videos up here that I think you'll really like. So click on one of those next, and I will see you in my next video.